welcome to Know Your Rights. This is your host, Alex Held, joined by my assistant, Linda Ricard. Now, the rules of the game are simple. Contestants will be tested on whether they know their rights. They will be asked a series of 3 questions. If they get just one answer wrong, then they will have to spin the Wheel of Doom. Now we are welcoming our first brave contestant, Fatima. And our first question. If an officer stops you on the street, do you have to provide identification if asked? I'm going to pause a second for our viewers that are watching at home.
No.
And that is correct, Fatima. In New York State, you are not required to carry any ID, and if an officer asks, you do not have to provide it. Second question. Do you have the right to record interactions with a police officer? I'll pause now for our viewers at home.
Yes, you do.
That is correct. You have the right to record officers from a reasonable distance if it does not obstruct their actions. Now, for our third and final question. Do you have the right to refuse an officer patting down or frisking you?
Yes.
The answer you gave me was wrong. If an officer stops you, they are allowed to pat you down or frisk you for officer safety. So they are looking for bulky items such as weapons. They are not allowed to be looking for anything else, but you do not have the right to refuse.
Uh-oh, Fatima, you landed yourself at the Wheel of Doom. Spin the wheel, please. You landed on 4. Now it's time to eat crickets. Ooh.
Ooh. Welcome, Kaori. Serena, how are you doing today? Welcome, Akira. How you doing today, Jack?
Man, we out here. We outside. I'm feeling real good right now.
All right, first question. Do you have the right to remain silent if you are stopped by an officer and asked questions?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That is your Fifth Amendment right. You have the right to remain silent if you are being questioned by the police, no matter whether you are being arrested, detained, or simply stopped. Does an officer have the right to pat you down in search of drugs?
No, you have to have a warrant.
That is correct, Kaori. An officer is allowed to pat you down, but not in search of drugs, only weapons. Do you have the right to refuse a search?
Yes.
Under your Fourth Amendment right, an officer does not have the right to search your belongings unless they have a search warrant. If you are arrested, do you have the right to counsel, even if you cannot afford it?
Yes.
Now, that is true. If you are not being detained or arrested, are you allowed to walk away from an encounter with the police?
Yes.
That is correct. Do you have the right to request an officer's identification or badge number if they stop you?
Yes.
And that is correct. Based on which amendment are you allowed to refuse a search of your belongings?
I don't even know, man.
You landed on option 2. That means you get a pie to the face. You landed on 4. That means you get to eat a cricketer.
And now, for our third and final question. Do you have the right to refuse a search of your belongings?
Hell yeah.
Congratulations, you are our first and only winner! Just kidding! Your grand prize is actually freedom. Since you knew your rights, you are free to go with no consequences, just as you would be like in the real world. Akira, thanks for participating and have a good one.
Can I have this
No. Well, that was all fun and games. The real world is not. You could be facing possible arrest, physical damage or assault, incarceration, loss of freedom, or self-incrimination. Please, viewers, be aware of your rights. They're yours, and you have the right to know what you can and cannot do when interacting with law enforcement. Now, please be safe and know your rights. This is your host, Alex Held, signing off. And now a special thanks to the greatest crew, Fatima, Linda, Natalie, Josue, and Wade.
You landed on option 2. That means you get a point. Sorry. My mustache. Is that you punching on that one?
Do you need a plate to spit it out?
Yo, bro.